friends back in Fort Worth. After being sprayed with beer and pushed from two directions at once, and all the while warning his assailants about his various defense skills, Jason had finally lost his temper. In a very short fight, he put all three boys on the ground. Then, his real mistake, he'd gone around with a few more rage-driven punches, in the process breaking 2 arms, 1 collarbone, and 1 nose. "You should have stopped when they were down," Hardy had told him. To which Jason had shrugged, "They started it." Even so, the story probably would have ended there had not one of the 3 victims been the son of Richard Raintree, a San Francisco supervisor and political ally of District Attorney Sharon Pratt. Raintree contended that Jason Trent had overreacted to what amounted only to good-natured hazing, and was himself drunk on beer. Sharon Pratt agreed. She'd ordered Jason arrested and charged. Now Hardy addressed Judge Lee. "Your Honor," he said, "this is my client's first alleged offense. He has no criminal record, not even a parking ticket. He holds a steady job. He's married and has 3 young children. He shouldn't even be here in this courtroom. His alleged victim started this fight, and he was forced to defend himself." Lee allowed a crack in his stern visage, glancing over at the bandaged and splinted victims at the prosecution table. "And did a good job of it, didn't he?" Hardy kept at it. "The point, Your Honor, is that Mr. Trent was pushed to this extreme by 3 punks who were ganging up on him. For all he knew, they were planning to kill him." This woke up the prosecutor, Frank Fisher, who objected to the use of the word punk. "And further, Your Honor, the victims were on the ground at the time of the attack. They posed no threat to Mr. Trent at that time." "They are the reason anything happened at all, Your Honor." The odds were that he was whistling in the wind, but Hardy felt he had to go ahead. "Mr. Trent didn't do anything wrong here. He used appropriate force to stop a vicious and unprovoked attack." Hardy noted the vibration at his belt, his silent beeper going off. He glanced down at it, a message from his office. Well, he was almost done here, finally. The judge had heard his little speech and now would set bail and assign a trial date, and then... But Lee, no doubt for reasons of his own, suddenly had a different idea. After he listened to Hardy's argument, he allowed a short silence to reign in his courtroom. Then he looked over at the prosecutor. "Mr. Fisher," he said, "do the people concede that Messrs. Raintree et al. Assaulted the defendant here, Mr. Trent, without provocation of any kind, other than his choice of clothing?" Fisher was a nondescript functionary in his mid-30s. By his reaction, this might have been the very first time that a judge had surprised him, or even spoken to him in the course of a proceeding. Now he stood up slowly, looked down at his notebook, and brought his eyes back up to the judge. "Your Honor, there was an exchange of words and insults. We have witnesses who—" Lee interrupted. "Who hit who first? Did Mr. Raintree and the others start this fight?" Fisher looked over at Hardy. Finally, he had to give it up. "Yes, Your Honor." Hardy thought he saw a momentary glint in the judge's eye, and was suddenly certain he knew what the judge was going to do next. He wasn't supposed to do it, but Lee obviously had had enough diplomacy for one day and didn't care. A couple more seconds of thought, then he tapped his gavel and stunned the courtroom with the words, "Case dismissed." Hardy had no time to savor the triumph. He thought he'd just quickly call his office, pick up his message, and then go have a celebratory birthday freedom lunch with his client, Jason Trent. Enjoy a rare midday martini, maybe 2. But the phone message ended all thought of that. It was the call all parents fear. His receptionist, Phyllis, told him that Teresa Wilson from Maryvale needed him to get in touch with her as soon as possible. Maryvale was where his children, Rebecca and Vincent, went to school, and Teresa Wilson was the principal there. It was 1:30, a Thursday afternoon in late October.